Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. Jocelyn. Okay. Yeah, we're going there. I just don't understand the level of stupidity that they have for this character and this couple in general. Because back in the day, whenever they want to sit there and try to give a little drama, give a little oomph to these characters and these couples and stuff like that, kind of make them go through their growing pains, they will give them issues that will generally make sense. And you'd be like, oh, okay, I can understand this, or I can understand where she's coming from, or I can understand where he's coming from. Like actual things that you could be like, yeah, I can see that. Love, you're going out with a hitman. And you're surprised that the hitman that you're going out with was going to kill someone. And she's just like, I never thought that you would do that. How do you write these characters so stupid? And she just goes on and on and on and on and on. I'm just like, I felt like I needed a bottle of wine to sit there and just get over the migraine that I was just going through because I don't understand that. And okay, I know people are gonna hate me for this comment, but I'm gonna sit there and say it anyway. Fine, I'll be the NS villain or the Jets fans villain. Maybe remember way back when Jocelyn treated Cam like a toilet seat. And people were just like, oh, he's boring. It doesn't really matter. He's boring. And, Dex looks so much better and stuff. And essentially, she did the exact same thing because she knew exactly what she was getting into. And although she tried to make it out like, oh, I know you was working with Sunny, but you were also working with us, but he was also working with Sunny. And he literally said it was a test. So if I didn't sit there and kill him, he's going to kill me. That's literally how that works. So essentially, she pretty much just treated Dex like Cam. But oh, I can already sit there and see the outrage now. Yeah. uh, I really do enjoy what I do. Um, but yeah, she cries and she whines and she just goes off and off and off and off. And then she runs to Trina and she's all like, I hope he leaves and never comes back. I had a good laugh. That generally made my day. It really did. This right here is just making my day. Um Alright, let's just move on. Alright. I don't know what they had in mind, but I'm pretty sure somewhere along the lines that the script got changed and maybe that Marshall was supposed to actually confront this racist POS, right? And this whole scene, this whole long 13-minute whatever scene that was going on, philosophical conversation with Kevin, talking to them about the history of medicine and what's deemed normal and what isn't deemed normal. Which, by the way, I was not exactly a fan of Stella correcting Kevin. I was just like, that was just out of pocket. I mean, with that being said, this whole conversation could have just been summed up in like 2 minutes. People of color, people who are LGBT, women in general have been screwed over by the medical system for years. That's it. That is generally what you need to sit there and know about that whole conversation. The turns and the twists and everything like that. I'm just like, well, I guess they have to sit there and find a way to stretch out an hour. Is all I can sit there and say because and generally that's literally what it is that people have been screwed up by the medical system for years. The end. Um, That's this whole thing with Stella and Tracy, and they try to make it like this jokey scene. And I guess after having a conversation about how people of color have been screwed over by the medical system for years, a conversation with Tracy as far as her getting her free checkup, and she was like, "Ah, I get around to it, I get around to it," and she was pissed off pretty much because she was like, "We've been screwed over by the system for years. We got to sit there and hope and cross our fingers that we sit there and see the right doctor that we can actually see it. You are getting a free checkup, and you're just like, I'll do it whenever I get time." So on some level, I understood where she was coming from. I also felt like it was kind of out of pocket because it was like you're coming in there with that energy, and it was just like, was it really necessary? And so Tracy's like, listen, I'll do it when I do it or whatever. And she walks away, and she comes back and she apologizes, and I'm just like, well, what are you apologizing for? Because it was Stella that was out of pocket in this whole conversation, and you're apologizing. And then she's like, "Oh well, you just call me Tracy, whatever." And they had this little smile and this little jokey music, but I'm just like, what was exactly funny? Did I miss something? Let me know in the comment section if I missed whatever the joke was because I was just like, I don't really understand it. Trina was there. I'm gonna be completely honest. I feel like they've been mishandling the way that they have done Trina. Um, Her grief and her anger and stuff like that, her sorrow. Because it's like you put her in this scene. They briefly talk about Paris. She seems a little bit more upbeat, talking about some sort of artist or whatever. And then they get to that part, and she's kind of down and stuff. And you talk about it for like maybe 2 minutes before Nina comes in. This whole patheticness that's going on, and it was just like, what was even the point of even actually having Trina in the scene? Like I felt, honestly, to tell you the truth, I felt like Trina was just wasted in this whole scene. And I'm like, if you're not going to actually try to do it in a proper way, and don't get me wrong, I'm not just saying like we watch soap operas, we watch it for a lot of different things. And I've complained about how every time she's come in, it's been like very mopey and stuff like that. I'm like, maybe if she actually had a scene with Kevin and they really sat there and talked about her feelings and survivor's guilt and stuff like that, then I can sit there and be somewhat invested in it. Because it's not so much that I have a problem with mopey scenes. I know some people sit there and say, "Oh, you don't have a heart" or whatever, but like if they actually sat there and talked about her feelings, I might be able to sit there and be like, okay, that's really sad, that's rough, and she's actually going through it. But just having her in scenes like this and then be kind of sad about it, it's like, did it really matter? Because she was sad about it in the other scenes like 2 or 3 weeks ago. Like I said this in my live stream. The Gates is coming out, and I definitely would want, as a fan cast, for her to be in that show because, don't get me wrong, they have good scenes with her at times when they feel like they can really maximize her potential. But then they have scenes like this where it's just like, what was even the point? And I just feel like maybe she should be thinking about trying to switch over to CBS The Gates. I'm just saying. Um, Diane talks more to Alexis about the legal loops that she's going to sit there and try to jump through to get Alexis to be a lawyer again. Because I'm just like, this whole journal investigating thing, it's not a little tried, but I mean, personally, I miss Alexis the lawyer. When I started watching, it was always Alexis the lawyer. There was at one point she was DA, but she was still within the law field. It's like her doing this whole news thing is like Really? I don't know. Maybe they have plans for Sean to sit there and stay longer and him actually doing some sort of news stuff, which I would have been like, I don't know, but I can maybe because I'm a Sean fan, I'll sit there and kind of rock with it for a little bit. Um, and she also talked about how she didn't really sit there and try to fight to get her law light. She pretty much just kind of just pled guilty and that was it. So she gonna sit there and go through some hoops over that. And of course, Nina comes in, and Nina's all like, "Oh, I want to be, I want to feel like Sunny. I'm there for Sunny, and you know, I want to feel like my husband can be with me, and this, that, and the third. And this is where I'm gonna kind of piss off the Nina fans because I've been rocking with Nina for a little bit, but this is where I'm gonna kind of piss off the Nina fans. Sonny is going through probably the worst moment of his life. And I understand on some level you want to sit there and try to be there for him, but if he doesn't want you around him right now during this very difficult time, and you're like, oh, I need you to sit there and try to help me out, sit there and try to get close to him, I need your help. Part of me wants to sit there and say, if you really did love him, you would stop making it about yourself, right? You would stop making it about yourself. You would put his needs before your own, and you'd be like, you know what, listen, this isn't the time right now to be sitting there fighting for my marriage. This isn't the time for me to sit there and be showing him that I can be a good wife. This is the time for him to be with the people that's closest to Dante and let them just sit with this uncertainty, you know? You don't have to sit there and try to hold Sonny's hand throughout this whole thing. As long as Sonny has somebody to hold his hand, that's what should be first. You want to sit there and be a good wife? You give him the time and space that he needs. You let him process it. And I understand that, hey, listen, maybe the marriage may not work out, but right now, do you think this is the best time to be fighting for your marriage when his son is literally still fighting for his life? That's my whole thing about this whole Nina. Before Dante got shot or whatever, I was just gonna sit there and be like, this is desperate, this is stupid. And on some level, the way he's that they're treating you, you don't need this. Because I've repeated this. There's a certain level of disrespect that I just do not like what Sonny's doing. And granted, he's had years of disrespecting women left and right on some level. But as much as people don't even like Nina, even I'm just like, I mean, damn, do you just hate her that much where it's like you're totally fine with him slamming doors in her face and just walking off and, doesn't even bother to sit there and give the respect of saying, hey, listen, this is going to work out. You just send your lawyer over there? Like, really? I find that to be very just disrespectful. Right now, Nina, right now, you're out of pocket. So, you want to be a good wife, then actually be a good wife and put his needs above your own because he's going through a very difficult time with his child or his son, since it didn't say his child. Olivia was there, Lois was there. Didn't really do too much of anything. Tracy was there. She was actually being nice and making her coffee. And then Lois came over and they talked about the neighborhood and Brooklyn being married to a cop and how she's worried for Brooklyn. And that was pretty much about it. I mean, honestly, tell you if you could have like missed that part and not really missed much of anything because she wasn't really there to do much of anything. Um, and then Ava came in and Ava sat with Sunny. She briefly mentioned Nina, and that was pretty much just a rat right there. And she was like, "All right, I'm just gonna just sit in here, sit over there, and just kind of just sit with you for a while." Um, Apparently, the nurses station was getting out way more information than they really should have gave. And all Ava said was maybe they thought it was Nina because Nina is um, technically still married to Sonny. Anyway, I feel like that's about it. If anything else, let me know in the comment section. And we will talk about it in the next live stream when I do a live stream. I want to do one tonight. I don't know if I'm going to be able to. I'm going to sit there and try. Um, we gotta We got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to talk about. So anyway, I'll see you in the next video. And of course, as I always sit there and say, you want to find out when I'm going to be doing the live streams or whatever, go to the community tab. You can find out there about what I'm going to be doing. And if you're not a member, hit the join button. We talk about this, I spill the tea. We talk about a lot of different soap operas and just other personal things that I don't generally share with, well, everyone. So definitely become a member. You can be a part of that. It's a lot of fun. Anyway, with that being said, I'm going to go. I'll see you in the next video.